Hey everybody, hope you're all having a great day so far tonight, or today. Yeah, today's been a bit stressful for me, but I'm ready to go ahead and do some programming. Hopefully that'll help de-stress a bit. Alright, so let's switch it over to desktop. Alright, hi again everybody. Let's see. So, we were working on the animation system yesterday, and I think that's what we're going to continue with. Specifically, I wanted to add, we basically have a complete system, if I remember correctly. Let's go ahead and play. Yeah, I don't know why this is activated. Let's put a little more light. That's better. Okay. So I'll tell this monster to move here, and I'll have this one move pretty far, and let's just watch what happens. It's supposed to jump, and then it should do another slight rotation to line up, and it does. Although I'm not sure if that rotation was automatic or not, because it seemed to go pretty fast. Let me test that again. Because it could be that this R collinear doesn't work perfectly. In fact, let me do a print here. So print. Okay, I guess I'll just get the same thing, except I'll switch out the function here to R collinear instead of distance. And we'll see what that gives us. I guess, yeah, let's close this again. Another way I can test it is actually make this speed a lot slower. Oh, no, that was a problem. I didn't update this to radians. Right now it's still degrees, so yeah, that's the issue. But I guess we can go ahead and test it anyway. Because yeah, 180 radians, that's basically instantaneous for that small of a rotation. Oh, we got an error? Attempt to concatenate a Boolean value. Okay, I guess in Lua you just need to wrap everything in toString. Okay, so move here. And this one, again, I'll just do the same thing. Okay, so it actually, well, if we see him rotate at a actual gradient there, so we know it did work. All right. Okay, so yeah, glad I caught that. So what I want to do now is add a few more like animation locks. Right now, we just have a lock to test whenever a monster is done moving, or an animation is done moving, I should say. And so I want to do another one that's based on a specific animation in the Unity state machine. As we pick this thing up. So right now, it'd be nice if we could have a message or have a wait end whenever the game gets out of this state. And then another one I wanted to do was, for example, again, an animation signal using the add event. Then you can call a function here, so that would be a cool functionality to add, I think. And the last is just a simple timer. So They're basically all timers, to tell you the truth, because any of them we can't really... Well, this event lock isn't a timer. And the duration. The thing is that... Well, it's going to kind of be like how we did the movement, because when we had a movement, the movement duration synchronized to the animation duration. It doesn't, like, it won't update if the animation changes duration at some point due to a speed variable or something. So it'll be similar, but I think that's okay. So I guess we'll do timers first because the other, well, at least one of them will be based on that. So again, I think I'll start here. Now a timer, I kind of almost think it shouldn't go in the animation system because it's just such a generic thing. But we do want it to be able to synchronize with animations, so... I guess I will have it in here. I mean, I guess if I need to, I can have a override or something. Or not override, but like have it appear in a separate timers object as well. Okay, so what would we return? Yeah, dynamic value, because again, it can be either a coroutine handle or whatever I called the animation weight. Yeah, animation weight handle. So that's why we have to use a dynamic value, because it could be either of those types. That would return to Lua. Looks like my internet is not playing nice again tonight. It's so annoying. Okay, it seems to have gotten back to normal. Hopefully it'll stay pretty stable. Okay, so what do I want to call this? I guess start timer. And all it really needs here is a period. And we'll just have the callback. Public. Okay, this can just be an action float. Oh, well, no, it needs to be a function because it has a return value. So function, float, dynamic value, start timer. And while I'm in here, I might as well set up the other two functions. So, okay, we have animation, weight, handle, and it's just going to be... It won't even have a any arguments, it'll just have the return value, and this will be wait for animation. And then a public function, dynamic value, and then I guess a string, which would be the message that we'd wait for from the animation system. And so this would be wait for signal. Okay, so basically there'll be similar functions, so I'll copy it like that. Wait for animation. Okay, lowercase there, and wait for signal. Oh, right, and then this has no argument. And then this one has a string. What do I want to call this? I guess tag. Why is it not like that? Oh right, I did this out of order. Yeah, for me it always seems like the return value should go at the beginning because that's how you write functions. The return value goes before the arguments, but C# does it this way. Okay, so now this is all set up, and I just need to create the animation handlers for this. Okay, let's call it Lua timers. Alright, just setting up some basic stuff there, and I think I can use... Okay, yeah, I'll use this as a basis because it's so simple. Okay, so this would be Lua start timer. Alright, and that's, I need to change this to start timer. And it has a float, period, and a dynamic value, return value. Okay, and it's complaining because I don't actually return anything yet, so I'll just return null for now. Alright, so, okay, we just gotta check that. Oops. And any other, there'd be no other reason we couldn't call this function, I don't think. So now I just need to figure out how I want to register this timer. I mean, there's no reason to like go to the UX for this. But I guess it should be outside of the animation system because there will be timers started by other scripts, and obviously during the action phase, if it starts a timer, that wouldn't go through this Lua function, so yeah, we'll just use some other way to actually keep track of the timers. So the only thing I need to validate here is make sure that the period is greater than 0. So I guess if I want to check if there's an error, I need to invert this. So throw new script. Runtime exception. Timer period must be greater than 0. Okay, so the only other thing I need to do here is manager set up asynchronous request. Okay, and so we'd have to get the index and then the I'm trying to the index and the dynamic value out. So this is the return value and the index. Okay, and then here we just return that. And then I need to create a script here, so manager. Well, that would just... I forget what I call it, but... Oh yeah, I just need to call this type of function except for the timers. But I guess before I get that far, I should actually create a timer class. So where do I want to put that? Doesn't really go anywhere else except the animation system, which I guess is fine. It's just not like directly connected to the script manager. Okay, so I'll just call this timer controller. Or no, I guess timer manager. Okay, so timer manager gets an auto controller, which it will use to access the rest of the game components, obviously. And one thing we need to do is create an on-tick function. Actually, we might want to create a new priority for this because this will be like firing off events. So let's do this timers. And I guess I'll put it maybe before normal. Well, no, it should run afterwards, shouldn't it? Although no, that would like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was gonna say like on the frame that the timer is registered, the delta time will be subtracted, but I don't think that makes any difference. Okay, so what else do I need here? Well, I'll need to subscribe to the command. This will be public class start timer command. Is that how I... Yeah, the animation command. Okay. I'm just making sure I was following the same pattern for the names here. So really the only thing that we need is the period and then also the timer index. Okay, so I won't make this more complicated than it needs to be, but for now, since this index... Or no, let's call it the wait handle. The thing is that it's not like controlled by one object, so if separate objects have the start timer command, then when we say timer done and reply with this wait handle, it might not be unique. So I'll need to, we'll probably have like a timer type here. Another option is that when we start the timer command, we could have it actually return the wait handle, but I think doing two separate indexes will be easier, and plus I don't know for sure if I'll need another type, so. But regardless, we need to subscribe to a message passing this command type. And it doesn't need a tag, but I do need to set the message archetype to command. We've been pretty much only using commands lately, it seems like. Okay. What's I don't like about this? Oh, I need to pass it the argument or the function that responds to this. So start timer. Okay, so then I'll have a timer class here. And it will just have, I guess, time left. And then also the wait handle. And then we'll need to have a private list of all running timers. And I always forget to instantiate these class collections, so I'll do that now. Okay, so here all I have to do is just add it, or add a new timer to our list. So command, or time left right now just is the command period. And then the wait handle we just passed from the command as well. Very simple. And then on tick, I'll go through each timer backwards because we might remove some. So for int I equals 0, oh wait, no, again, I just said we're going to do it backwards. So I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. Okay, so timer t equals running I. And then we'll subtract the time left, or subtract delta time from the time left, and then if time left dips below 0, then we know it's done. So running remove at I, and now we'll need to call some message to let everyone know it's complete. So okay, so right now we actually, yeah, that's right. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I could do it separately, but for the what am I looking for? Linear mover, for example. Yeah, we just have a wait handle release. It's not specific to this movement. So I guess I'll just leave the system because, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to need other types of timers, so. And if I do, it won't be difficult to support both code flow. Or use cases, I guess is the better term for that. So here, okay, that's still fine. Wait handle release, send the wait handle. That's basically it. Okay, I do need to make this public because this play controller is going to need to create this class. So new animations, timer manager. Okay, so now all I really need to do is add this command message to the animation commander. Okay, so private message claim timer. Oh, I think it was start timer command. Claim message, start timer command, and this will also be command archetype. And here I need to add another type. Okay, so I guess let's just have to do, or no, I'll call it start timer. Stored animation command. I guess I'll just create this method here, but I want to move it down to keep things in order. Okay, now I just would call that start timer. Alright, so that's done, and the script manager, just need another class or function like this for start timer. Okay, start. I thought I just created this function. I must have made it private by accident. Okay. And then here in the Lua timers, I need to call manager, start timer. And then the wait handle is the index. And I think we're all good to go. All right. I guess try to test it now. I think I hooked everything up. Well, I guess we'll see. So I guess, so we won't have to move all the way to the actions. Let's just make something in the startup like I've done here. I think we're pretty good with all these, so I'll delete that for just clarity. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so I do need to check. Well, we'll just use the coroutine system, because if it works for the coroutine, it should work for the action system, because we didn't actually change anything about that. Or in the action system. So what I'll do is, in between these movements, I'll create a timer. So coroutine, yield, animations, start, timer. How about, let's do 2 seconds so it's really visible. And then I'll start another one after that, even longer. Alright, so once it's finished compiling, we'll press the play button and see what happens. It's taking a long time. I just added a couple scripts, Unity. I guess it has to recompile everything, but... Alright. Okay, so it moved, and we got an error when I was going to start the timer. Object reference not set to an instance. Oh, I think I know what I forgot to do. In the script manager, I should have initialized this Lua timers class. So new Lua timers. There we go. Try again, so I should wait there for a couple seconds. Okay, that's longer than 2 seconds, so... Oh, I forgot to like toggle this on. For the timer manager, well, if we pause, we'd want to stop this. But we don't have a pause system ready yet, so I should add a note about that though. Okay, when implementing pause, be sure to stop animation timers. That might happen automatically now that I think about it, because delta time will be set to 0, but some of this stuff, well, we'll come back to it. Okay, so yeah, we'll just make this untoggleable for right now. That means as soon as it's activated, it will just automatically receive the tick function. Alright, so 1, 2. Okay, there it goes. Not very good at seconds apparently. Now it should wait 4 seconds. And then it rotates around. Okay, so yeah, everything's good. I'm gonna disable this log for now. It's not gonna help me with anything. And it's just clogging this up. Okay, so I guess we're done with timers. That was pretty simple. Okay, now I'll do the animation duration. And it's really a timer, but because of the way Unity works, we can't like just take it the easy way and pass this period to the timer right away. We actually need to wait 1 frame before we actually know this. And unfortunately, yeah, we have to get into like UX code, so I'm gonna need to implement a command to help with that. Okay, well let's just, we can pretend that that's all implemented and just set up what we need. So we need to have the model ID. Well, first I guess I should have a Boolean. Well, maybe we should just make a type actually. I guess just simple and then animation. I don't know if we'll ever have any other types. It's kind of a shame I have to do this because really it's going to duplicate the code from the linear mover, but I'm also... Maybe we should do this in a separate class. Because like behind the scenes all we do is start a timer, but in the future if I could ever make it so that it'll actually watch the animation and see when the animation's done, then it would be like a completely different system and it wouldn't actually use the timer. So yeah, I think it is better to do it somewhere else. Because just implementing it as a timer is kind of assuming too much about the Unity animation system that I don't really want the rest of the game to know about. Okay, so in that case, it needs to go in the UX. Okay, so this will just be... I guess I could combine this class kind of with the signals, but I don't know. Let's call it animation complete watcher. And I do need to create the command object. Let's see. So I have this movement command that has these, but it's not really related. Let's just call this animation wait commands. This won't really be a class, but this file will just have these 2 smaller classes inside. Okay, so here we just need the layer. Or I guess first we need the model ID and then the layer and finally the wait handle. And I guess I'll go ahead and write this while we're here. This will be the animation wait signal. I guess I'll put command on the end. Yeah, that is a little better to me. And this will also just have a model ID. And then the signal tag, which is a string. And the wait handle. Okay, so yeah, we won't do this right now. I just wanted to go ahead and write it while we're working in here. And then back down in the UX classes, we'll go back to the complete watcher. And this will get an auto controller. Okay, so yeah, let's close all but this. And the positioner, oh no, that's too simple. The linear mover is what we want. I think I might go ahead and copy this, even though it has more than we need, but it'll be a good start. Okay, don't need that. Oh, yeah, I don't need to have a specific map controller. And I guess we will have a class here to keep track of what we're waiting for, so... and we'll basically just copy everything that's in the command. We need the model ID, the layer, and... well, here we know this is going to be implemented as a timer, so I'll just do that. Or in fact, I'll call it time left. And then we need the wait handle. Do I need the game data? I think that was just to get... the game, or the board metrics, so I don't think I need that. But I do need the models. And I need to subscribe here. Okay, and this is actually will be an animation wait complete command. Okay, so start wait, I'll call it that. Okay, and I do need to get this to signal whenever we're done. Okay, this is actually simpler than here. Okay, I do need this frame number because we have to wait one frame. Excuse me, one frame before we query the animator to see the animation period. Okay, so let's just do it this way. Current, add, new wait. This doesn't have the timer? Oh, I call it the animator layer. I guess I'll do that as well. Oh yeah, it's only set there, so that makes sense. Equals command layer. And the only other thing is the frame number. Oh. Okay. I think that's good. I can just rename this to update wait. Why did... not sure why I didn't rename that. I guess because this type is mismatched, but... okay, I guess I do need to have this boolean here to know if we've been initialized or not. We could kind of encode that by having the time left to be negative, but... was true. Did I forget something? Oh, I just haven't set the time left yet because we don't know that. All right. Okay, and this isn't the command. Okay, there we go. That fixes a bunch of errors. Okay, and this is this works a little different. Okay, yeah, I actually need to reverse that. Oops. Can't see the plus key. Okay, yeah, because basically I'm trying to make it so that there's no change on the very first frame that we set it. Did I mess that up here? Oh no, because I added to the timer period, so that's fine. Okay, and all I have to do is nothing here except I need to see if time left is less than or equal to 0. Okay, I guess put that in the wrong spot. Okay, I don't know why I have all these extra spaces. I think that's good. Where do I initialize these objects? Okay, the map controller does it. That's a little bit... not a problem, it's... I don't really like how I create all these in these controllers because it's kind of like centralizing everything. Which is not a huge deal, but it does like add coupling. I don't know. I don't really know a better way to do it right now. I need to figure that out. Okay, so I think we're done here. Okay, so let's go ahead and like debug log the time left just so I'll know when we run this if it's working out. Because it's going to be kind of hard to test it because right now Egg Dino all the animations are really quick. I could try to slow it down, but then I'd have to recompile asset bundles and everything, so I don't really feel like doing that right now. But here we have... So Lua, wait for animation complete. Let us do a couple more classes here. I'm gonna get a bunch of oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't know why it's not gonna just let me put using there, but okay. Oh. That was wrong namespace. There we go. Okay, so here, Slua, wait for animation, and this had no argument. So nothing really to test, super simple. So this is wait complete command. I guess we do have to pass the layer, now that I think about it. And it will default to 0, so I'm not... Well, I guess I will need to make sure if it's negative, because that doesn't make any sense. So if layer is less than 0... let's see. Animation layer must be greater than, or must not be negative, because it can be 0. And I think if you don't pass anything, it just defaults to 0, which is what we'd want. Okay, so the weight handle we can keep. We need the layer. Oh, right, and the model. Okay, and the model will actually get... Yeah, this is a bit more complicated than I thought. So the Lua to movement. Yeah, why did I put an underscore there? It's not needed. I guess I was thinking about how I type these functions, but... So here... I do have a helper function that gets the model ID, don't I? Oh yeah, the manager actually has it. Okay, so I thought I did pull that out somewhere. So yeah, model ID equals manager. Okay, I guess I can call this target as well. I don't need the model name, but I think I did for debugging at one point, so that's why it has the out value there. And this is wait for animation. What's it complaining about? Not convert. Oh, right. So I need to... do that, and then here I need to change these functions. So the return value goes at the end. So I'll have a dynamic value for the target and then an integer for the layer. And the same thing will actually be down here at the signal. How I'll actually do it. Oh yeah, the signal doesn't have a layer, so that's not an issue. I was gonna say I wasn't sure about the ordering there. Okay, so dynamic value target int layer. I can't type layer today. And again, I'll just have a target. And the dynamic value, again, for new viewers is just a Lua variable, which Lua does not have strong typing, so it can be any value. And we want that because we'll accept monsters or any other type of model. Okay, so it's good. Oh, this is complaining because I haven't actually created this function yet. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. And it doesn't seem to want to generate it for me, so... Okay, so wait for animation. And it's just an animation wait complete command. And I guess this should be animation wait complete. Generate an enumeration for that and also function here if it will let me. Okay, it's not liking to do that tonight. looking for? The animation commander. So I just need to get a reference to the message to send this command to the UX classes. So animation wait complete. So command anim complete. And I just need to create this function. Oh, and I should also, oh, it wasn't like this anymore. Oh, because I haven't renamed that. So wait for complete. Okay, and command, there we go. So now I just need to add another entry for the animation wait complete enumeration value. Okay, so I think I've hooked everything up. Yeah, this is good. Is there... No, I think that's all I pass here. And then the script manager, I do need to create this class. Oh yeah, I named this something different. The new Lua. Wait for animation complete. Okay, so that's done. And it's gonna be a bit difficult to test, but I'll just insert it after this timer. Okay, so wait for animation. Is that what I called it? Okay, yeah, that was it. And then I just need to pass the monster and no layer because I want it to default to 0. Okay, so let's see if that works. Again, I'm just going to look for the debug line for the period. Because I think our animations are pretty fast, so it'll be hard to actually see the wait time. Just gonna wait 2 seconds, then it should pop up here. Oh, but we got an error instead. Cannot convert a void to system int. Okay, I thought it... I guess it doesn't create it by default. Well, that's not that big of a deal. If I really want to, I could probably create a default, but I'll just pass 0. It's not really that difficult. Okay, so here is a timer. It's pretty slow, or pretty fast, I mean. But at least we know it did something. I think it actually only waited 1 frame, but that's fine. Actually, it uses the same code as the linear mover, and we know that works, so... At some point when we have a monster with a longer animation, it'll be easier to test. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Okay, well, I'll mark that as complete for now. I'm confident enough. Okay, so the event lock, this will be new. And what I should do... Okay, we're gonna need to create our first C# script that's accessed or that's loaded from an asset bundle. Okay, so I'm going to have to rebuild the asset bundle, so maybe I will just make a longer animation to test this while we're at it. Okay, well I guess we'll do the C# script first. And I'm not sure where to put it, because it needs to be accessed by the mods because they'll actually attach this file to the game object. In the mod editor, which is just their version of, or their instance of Unity, and then they'll export the asset bundle. That's really the only weakness of asset bundle, is that you can't write your own C# scripts. You can do shaders, which is cool, but not C#. So should I just insert it into mods? The mods namespace, maybe as a new folder. They're basically all going to be like animation scripts, so let's do animation utilities. And this will be a signal receiver. Okay, so this namespace is technical Lizard, Tamer mods. Okay, and this is going to be a mono behavior because it will actually attach it to the object itself. So I'll have a couple serializable properties. Or will it? I don't think it will actually. It's really just going to have a function. And okay, I guess I'll call it void receive animation signal string tag, and then it will do something. So let's see if this shows up. Wait, why is a monster model creator right here? That's not right. So anyway, here we'll actually add the signal receiver. That's all we have to do. And now when we go into the animation, if I add an animation event, then I think the received animation signal should show up right here. And then I can type in the tag, so I'll just type test. I guess for now, let's just debug, log this tag out. And so now our console should get spammed with test every half second or so. Which it does, you can see it right there. And it's just whenever this animation gets to a specific point, we look here in the animation window. Oh, it's actually not showing up for some reason. Well, we can see it's playing, but for some reason it's not showing the yeah, for some reason the timeline is not progressing in the actual animation window, but we know that just whenever the animation reaches this point, it calls the function in the signal receiver, and that's why test is being printed out. So what I need to do is somehow get into the game system and signal that we actually, or call some message that lets the game know that we actually did get this signal. But the problem is this Tactical Lizard Tamer mods can't access any of the scripts in the rest of the game. So I'm trying to figure out. Really, it needs to have like something needs to like give this function or give this component a function to call whenever it receives this. That's not that difficult to do. Okay, I'm trying to think. There's two ways I could do this. I could either have it just have a Boolean signal. Oh, that wouldn't work because it could receive more than one signal at a time. Well, we could just do a list of like received tags or something. So basically, I don't know if I want scripts to check the signal receiver to see if it's received something, or if I want the signal receiver to tell someone else that they received a signal. Let me see. The monster model creator kind of sets all this up. I could basically just have a list of like signal receivers in this model components class. And then some other object would just look through the list every time to see if a signal's been received. That might be easier to do instead of using a callback. And it also would let the mod authors kind of debug this in their version of the editor, because they could see, oh, okay, a certain signal's been received at that point. Okay, this is supposed to be private. And then I guess I'll just encapsulate the field. No reason for a setter. Okay, so the model components class. Well, there's really not a reason for a model to ever need more than one of the signal receiver class, so I didn't want to. I wanted to, yeah, just type that out. Okay, all right, and then here I need to pass this, or yes, in that initialize this variable. So it's get component. I guess it could be in children. Signal receiver, and it's gonna not recognize the namespace, so there we go. All right, and just a comment on a semicolon. So now I just need to have the class that actually pulls this list to see whenever something changes. I guess I can go in the animations as well. This will be the signal watcher. Well, yeah, we're gonna need to make this anyway to message back whenever the wait handle or whenever a registered like wait handle for a certain signal is received. So Or I think I just butchered that sentence, but what I'm trying to say is we'll need this object regardless. Okay, so this is okay, well I'll go ahead and use the namespace, but I need to change it to an animation signal wait command. Okay, so yeah, it's the model ID. We don't need a layer. We don't need a frame number or a time left. And then I do need a tag. Okay, and let's change this to upper and variant. Just to make it case insensitive. Yeah, so then every time we'll need to, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that yet because we actually need to get the model. Okay, so what does this return? Yeah, the model components, that's exactly what we need. Oh, except it's getting the animator. So I guess we actually just need the signal watcher. Oh wait. Did I just name them the same thing? That's going to be confusing. Okay, this is a signal receiver. Good. Okay, so I can't clear the list yet, but I need to wait until I've looked through everything, so I just need to check to see if their list contains the specific tag we need. Hi Scorpion Illuminati, good to see ya. Nintendo makes Nintendo Switch VR. That'd be cool. I actually haven't really tried much VR development. I'm not but yeah, it's something I'd like to try out someday. Okay, so yeah, complete is really simple. We just need to check if the receiver contains the signal. But we can't just like, yeah, we can't just do list contains because we have to check if, yeah, because we want to make it case insensitive. So let's move bool complete to here, and then for each string tag in receiver. What do I call this? Okay, yeah, received. Okay, so if tag to upper invariant equals the tag that we're waiting for, then complete is true and we can break. Alright, that's fine. And then down here we need to loop through every model and clear the received signals. Let's count. So just do it this way. So if I don't really know if this is actually faster. I mean, probably the receiver does something similar, but before, instead of just calling clear every frame, I always have checked to see if the count is greater than 0. But anyway, yeah, just at the end of the frame we need to clear all this to get ready for The signal's on the next frame. I think that's about it for this class. Okay, so the map controller, I need to instantiate this. What am I looking for? Map. Oh, right here. So new UX, map, animations. Signal watcher. I bet I made it private. Not signal waiter, although I guess that would work as well. Okay, I think that's fine. Oh, I guess I spelled this wrong. Oh, did I not update the namespace correctly? And we'll just clean up the sorting, or the usings up there. Okay, so I think this is all good. Now I need to do the game logic side of things. I need to create the class that handles the Lua function call. So this is Lua wait for signal. And I think I'll just copy this class because, again, it's going to be pretty similar. I don't really want to have to type everything again. Okay, so this will be Lua wait for signal. And it's a dynamic value and then a string for the tag. Same as our enclosing type. Oh. Okay. I guess I can just call this wait then, it doesn't really make any difference. So we just need to make sure that tag is not null, so if string is null or empty, then we just need to say signal tag must not be empty. We set up that. Okay, and I should change this to wait for signal. It's an animation signal wait command. Okay, there's no layer, and the only difference is a tag. Okay, let's see if it actually lets me generate the method. I wasn't liking to do that earlier tonight. Save me a little bit of time. Okay, so I'll change this to animation signal. I guess it is a wait for a signal, so. And just one more function to create, and I think we can actually test this. And for that I need to get this other message real quick. All right. Oh, and then I need to, this is for stored animations during when the game is executing actions. Command, okay. Oh, and then I need to break. And the last thing, type command, animation signal, and then we send this over. So I think that's it. I guess the script manager, I need to create that new Lua function handler. So Lua, wait for signal. Oh, I did the underscore thing again. That's not, don't want to name classes like that. Okay, I think we're good to go. But one thing I should do is, I don't know, just test all three of these new wait handles at once. So this will be animations, wait for signal, got the S, and monster test. And I think now when I do this, it's going to yield forever because the animation doesn't actually, like, it never will actually send the signal. Okay, but that was a possibility. I got an error. Okay, so it doesn't have a receiver. So if receiver does not equal null. So what should I do here? If receiver is null at this point, I guess we'll always just return false. Should kind of, I don't know if I want to notify the mod author that this will never return, or this will never complete. It almost would be a good idea to have like a default timer here. Or not default, like a backup timer. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, I think. But let's, I want to see if the game just freezes because well, it won't freeze, it will soft lock. Because I want to, that would mean that it is going to just keep waiting for the signal, it won't come. Yeah, so it moves there and, oh, it actually gets an error. Attempt to call a nil value. Okay, that's not going to help me. Play flow. Gotta wade back through these errors to see where the actual game logic happened and not inside of a message. Simple listener, so Lua async request handler. So something's wrong with the asynchronous requests at 162. I think that's where I just was, wasn't it? Oh, 157. So 162 is, okay, it just threw the error. Probably because this was null or something. Oh, well, it's oh, of course, it's a Lua error, not a C# error at line 44 in the Lua function. Oh, I typed in coroutine yield. Okay, there we go. Let's try this one more time. It's going to wait 2 seconds, and then it's going to do the animation wait. And now it should wait forever because it's trying to get a signal. Meanwhile, if we look at here, it should have Oh, it actually hasn't received anything. Oh, right. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. And the signal receiver. I forgot to actually add the tag here. It should. Well, instead of a list, I could make this a hash set so it would automatically delete duplicates, but the only problem with a hash set is you can't see it in the Unity editor, so. I think Scorpion Illuminati. I think it is coming together. I'm really happy to finally have some okay looking graphics. Okay, so now we see about every half second we add a new test in here because the animation gets to the signal part, and so it's adding it to the list. And of course this one is frozen because it's waiting for this signal to be returned back, but these animators don't have this event yet because I need to rebuild the asset bundles. Okay, so one thing I want to do is make a long animation to test this wait for animation. Kind of like I had before. I guess I shouldn't have deleted that. So we'll make another state. Let's just call this test. And I'll have another trigger. So we'll move from idle to test whenever the test trigger is set to true. Ned makes Pokemon Black VR HK Holodeck Edition. Well, maybe not quite that far. That would be cool though. That would be a fun thing to do on stream, is trying to do some kind of VR development, but I don't really know. Well, actually, I don't really know how I'd stream that, but... Okay, and then when this is done... I guess I should have kept it at 0.75 because it's going to blend. So when when this animation is complete, it will exit back to the idle state. So now I just need to add something here. That'll be one long animation. Okay, I guess I'll make a new animation. Where did I save these? Probably inside the egg dino. Yeah, so this, I'll just name this long test. Holodeck then, I guess we could do that. Okay, I don't need this in there. Okay, so I think I'll delete this signal. And then in the long test, I'll add a new signal. Okay, so maybe just to like really show what's going on, I'll just kind of move the dino up really high. Or maybe leave its feet on the ground, but just move the egg up, which will be kind of funny. Okay, so I need to set it to record, and then at, we don't want it to be a whole minute, or is this a second? Okay, so at 1 second, I'll just move this up, something like that, and then at 2 seconds, it will go back to 0, or whatever it was originally. I don't know. Okay, well, doesn't really matter. I'm just for testing. Yeah, the whole deck is really cool. Actually, I'm not sure if... or maybe this isn't what I'm thinking about. Let me check. Oh, and Star Trek. Okay, I was thinking of the HoloLens, yeah. Yeah, of course, the holodeck in Star Trek is really cool, but unfortunately technology is just not there yet. Alright, so here, at the top of the animation, I think I'll receive the signal. Okay, yeah, so it's a bit silly, but it gets the job done. Okay, I know last time I tried to do this, I kept having to rebuild the asset bundles because I made a mistake with the animator. So I'm gonna go ahead and test that now. I guess we'll move this over here so we can still kind of see the game. And when I turn test on, it should switch to the test state. Okay, yeah, that did work. And if I look here, and we see we got 2 test signals. Can't keep both selected. Now it's 3 when I did it again, so. Okay, so no bugs. And that should be a long enough animation for testing purposes. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and apply this. And we'll rebuild the asset bundles. This will take a little bit, but... I was actually reading a bit about the asset bundles, and I'm doing a few things wrong with loading. Specifically, if an asset bundle had a dependency on another asset bundle, right now the game does not handle that correctly, so... But at some point I need to go back and clean up a bunch of code, so I'm thinking that I'll fix that then. Alright, now is it done? Yeah, and I don't know what this error is talking about, but the asset bundles still work. Okay, so we need the streaming assets because this has the mod folder in it. But the actual asset bundles are up here. Right, I think good to go. So now, before we wait for the animation, I need to call animations set trigger on this monster. We'll set the test trigger. And that should start that animation playing, and so when we wait for the animation to complete, so it should wait. Oh, okay. That did work, but yeah, I need to set the trigger on again so it will play one more time, and that way the signal will be received. So the first time, the animation should play once and then move, or the animation should play once and then it will start another animation and it'll play halfway and then it'll start to move because the signal was received, and that's what happened. And then it's going to wait 4 seconds and turn. So 2-second wait, then 1 full play, and then half and start move. And then it's going to wait. Okay, cool. That's perfect. That's actually pretty simple too. So, are we done with that? So this is like a couple days ago I was trying to figure out what would happen with the netcode if a player crashed at a specific time, and I kind of think it's not going to be an issue. Yeah, because if somebody crashes completely, we don't wait for them. Like, I think I'm getting confused between the chess game that I made before this, where if somebody crashed, they actually tried to load back into the game. But now if someone crashes, I think everybody just has to reload into the lobby. Which I might want to change later, but that's how I'm doing it for now. Because I don't really think that should happen very often. Yeah, so in that case, there can never be, I think I've said this like every night in a row, but in that case, there can never be a time where you won't have the animation sequence, but the server has the action sequence, so you'll always have both. But trying to think of an easy way to test that. So in the action logic, what would happen is the ordering finalizer. This is when you send the action list to the server. And at this point you would have the animation sequence. So if you disconnected, it would be fine because everybody would still wait for you and the animation sequence would not be like invalidated at any point. Yeah, I'm just trying to think it through. But yeah, I think this is... I don't need to change anything. Okay, yeah, we had some weird going on with mod loading exceptions in the asset organizer. But I think I'll wait to figure that out because I need to go and update the asset organizer a whole lot anyway. So I'll just add that here. Okay, so I think we're completely done with the graphical side of the animations, which also is most of the scripting side or the engine side as well. And now I was thinking that we go to the egg dyno and start doing like more artsy stuff, like make good animations and fix the colors and shaders. But while I'm working on the animation system, I think that I should just go ahead and complete it completely and do sound, which will be kind of nice anyway. So I think I'll move this down here, just get rid of that extra space. Okay, so if you've never done sound in Unity, how it works basically is actually, yeah, we don't have any sound capability in this game at all yet. So what I'm going to do is add... Okay, we do have the audio listener on the camera. And this is kind of like what receives any sound in the game. And then you have, let's just create an empty object. Audio source. And so this is like a source of audio. And we'll attach an actual audio file here. And just ignoring all this, you can set volume and pitch. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not super important right now. And then this controls like the volume as you move away from the sound. But all that's not super important to us right now. Right now we mostly want to worry about loading this audio into the game. There's one other important aspect, and that's this mixer. So let's see. Let's create another folder for audio. And we'll want to create an audio mixer. And this will just be... This actually won't be part of the Mod assets. We'll want to have like a master audio mixer. And how this works really is, if I can bring up the interface, is you have a bunch of these like channels that audio can flow into, and how this is powerful is because you can set the volume for each channel, and that will change the volume for anything that flows through the channel. So like if you wanted to mute music, we'd have a different music channel, which I'll create right now. And then all we'd have to do is just bring the volume down to -80, which is muted. Okay, and we'll also have sound effects. And that'll be good for now. So this master audio mixer will just be part of the game, but then we also want to allow mods to have their own mixers. And then we can route those mixers into this master mixer. So let's go ahead and create an audio mixer for the mods. And I'll just call this test content mixer. This will be the sound effect mixer, actually. And I guess there should be a master here, but I'll just add an egg dino group. And this, for instance, can be all the egg dinos sound. I don't know if that's just how you'd want to organize it, but that's how I'll do it for now. Another cool thing about these that I forgot to mention is you can add a whole bunch of different audio effects to anything that moves through these channels. Like in one game I put a low pass filter on a certain channel and it made things sound like it was through a wall. That was pretty nice. Yeah, there's all different kinds of things you could do there. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. But what I want to do is add this mixer to an asset bundle, so we'll have the test content. And now when I build the asset bundle, it will also contain this mixer. Okay, so that's good. So we load... Yeah, so right now we need to figure out how we'll load the sound into the game. Because this is all easy, it's just like... somehow you'll tag a sound in Lua, or to let Lua be able to know about it, and then we'll just be able to set this play, stop, loop, and volume. So yeah, this part will all be easy. This part might be a little more confusing because just need to figure out how all of it works. I've never actually loaded a mixer through an asset bundle and tried to route it into another one, but I know it's possible. Okay, so how would I... trying to think the best way that we would set up sound for the egg dino. So I guess what I could do is create an audio source. Oh, I didn't put it where I wanted, but right under here. And I don't know what this would be. I guess now we just have the move, so let's say in the ability script. Well, I guess we'd want like a shuffle sound for this, but I think I'll start a little simpler and we'll just have jump, start, and stop sounds. So let's do animations. play sound effect. So how would I reference this animation? It would be an animation attached to this model. I guess that's the way to do it. Because there could be like a global animation as well. That would be part of the UI. I should probably yeah, we'll have local audio sources attached to a model, and then a global, or not global, I don't know what I want to call it, I guess I could call it global. It's just an audio source that doesn't have a model it's attached to. Attached. Oh, I can't type. To a model for the UI, for example. And then audio mixers are always global, so you just reference them by name. Okay, reference by name. Okay, so any local sound effect is pretty easy. So we just have user and then the name. So it's just called jump. And that's it. And then down here, well, we need to know if it did jump. So let's get rid of that. Local jump sound effect is false. This is a little hacky, but it does the job. And then after we move F, jump, we don't need a parenthesis, jump sound effect, then we want to play an end sound effect. So animations, play sound effect, user, land. Okay, so that's kind of how we'll do it. And okay, so adding or loading audio sources will be pretty easy in that way. I guess we could just use the name here as the name that we will reference them, so this will be a jump, and I know we don't actually have any source in here, but so we want to use egg dino, not play on awake. I'll just leave it 2D. 3D is nice because you can like do this roll off and stuff, so it has positional audio, but it'll just confuse things when we're trying to test. Okay, so we'll have jump and land, and won't worry about the specific clip for now, because I don't think we'll actually get to play it tonight. We have a bit more to do. So these will be loaded automatically when the game loads the Egg Dino prefab. And I guess that's another thing that the UX is going to have to pull from the model prefab and then somehow make available that list, or make that list available to the game. Okay, so the monster model creator. Okay, so the model components will need to have I guess the simplest way to do it would just be to have a list of audio sources. I think Unity will actually give us an array back, which is fine. This will be game object get components in children, and this will return a list of all the audio sources that it can find attached to this object or its children, which should work fine for us. And then at some point, we need to either give a list to the game or have another error, like callback, to check if an audio source actually exists, which I think that might be the better way to do it. That's how the parameter setter, that's how that worked. Yeah, because it's actually more complicated to check if a param or a parameter actually exists than to actually just set it. I don't know why Unity didn't just provide a throw here, but they don't. But anyway, getting off topic. Okay, so local audio is loaded automatically. Global audio needs to be loaded from the table of contents. And this would be things like, again, UI, sounds, or music even. And speaking about music, I think yeah, special handling for music. I wonder, do I need to make it so that music is loaded any differently? I don't know. But I just won't worry about that for now. Okay, so local audio sources are loaded. But we still need to load audio mixers and then global audio sources somehow, and as I was saying, they'll have to be referenced from the table of contents at some point. We have this database. Okay, so let's see. I think that there will be a little bit of metadata. So I shouldn't just because one option of course is just to have public string audio mixers, and then we just load the audio mixers at these file names, but we'll need to at least know what group that the audio mixer needs to be routed into in the master audio mixer. Specifically, is it music or sound effect? Okay, so this will be path. What do we call it? Is it? I don't know if I use the name path or name for asset paths in other places. Oh, it's string, but it's not the same thing. Okay, so I have a name and a model. I don't know if the audio mixer... Oh no, it does need a name because it has to be referenced from Lua. And public string... I guess I'll call it group. And then we'll need another one for our global audio source, and I'll just call it audio source. Alright, I need to get the right namespace, so Tactical Lizard Tamer mods. And these should both be public. Okay, so here we'll also have a name and path. I think that's about it. Well, it should have... Well, no, it would be routed into some audio mixer that the game... or that the mod author is included in here, so... I guess, yeah, when we load the audio source, we'll have to make sure that some mixer is set. But that'll be for validation at some point. Okay, so now let's wade into the loading. Okay, I got about 10 minutes left. I don't know how much we'll get done, but we can at least get started. So the asset loader... This is where we'll start with this. Okay, so it's loading a bundle and then the asset. We don't really have to change anything about that. Okay, this is what I was looking for, the mod load manager. And it's just when it's loading a database, it'll just check for a table of or it'll check for the audio mixers and audio sources. So let's close some of the stuff. It's public audio mixer. All right. Okay, so if the audio mixers are not null, then for each one, I guess we should make a special function for this. I don't know. Alright, so here it doesn't actually load anything because it's all just metadata. Yeah, it's something more like this. I guess just to keep things clean, I'll have another function even though it's going to be very simple. So audio mixer. It's the same. Wait, what happens? Oh, I see, I see. This is correct. I thought that I was confused about how we got the prototype already, but this is just the mod metadata about it, so. Okay, so mixer. So if the mixer is null, then null audio mixer. Okay, and then we just load mixer.path. And then the debug would be mod name audio mixer. Okay, and we don't need to check if the name is null at this point because we take care of that later. And now we basically do the exact same thing for an audio source except change a couple strings here. Okay, and this is just audio. And again, I need to check if the audio sources are null. Then we won't do anything, but if they're not null, then we'll try to load everyone. Oh, I forgot to change the name of these functions, so load audio mixer and load audio source. Okay. And I think the rest like the game will already take care of actually loading the asset because it's not any different than a model, so I don't have to take or change anything about that. So the next time we'll see them will be here in this asset organizer. And I really want to clean up this script, so which I am going to do soon. I have a little note here to take care of that, but for now, since I'm going to add something new, I guess we might as well start the audio off correctly. So what did I call it? I did this once with the block prototype. Okay, yeah, it's block prototype organizer. It's right under my nose. So I'll just call this audio asset organizer. And I think that the mixers and audio sources are similar enough that they can just go in the same class. They're going to be pretty simple anyway. Public audio asset organizer and okay, yeah, this is just past that because those are the only two things it should need. And get this. Okay, so we're gonna need somewhere to deposit these objects into the game data. Yeah, I guess it'll just be a dictionary because it'd be the mixer name and then the actual audio mixer. Although, okay, no, we do need it because the Lua scripts. I was gonna say, do we even need to include the audio mixers here because we might not ever need to reference them again after loading everything, but I do want the Unity or what am I trying to say? The Lua scripts to be able to change properties about the audio mixers, so ooh, I don't know why it froze there for a second. Dictionary, same thing here, so this will be audio source, global audio. It's a bit weird that the data has like references to the Unity engine, but I guess we already have game object in there, so at least, yeah, I don't want the game data or anything in the game data to actually manipulate these, but I guess it's a good compromise just for my sanity to not have to abstract the audio mixer and audio source away into some UX class. Okay, so I don't want to change that. And could anything... Yeah, so this group is not going to need to be known by the game data because we'll have already inserted the audio mixer into the correct master group at some point. So I don't think I have to store any other metadata about either of these things besides the name. Okay, but I think we're at a good stopping point and I've been streaming for 2 hours, so I think I'll call it a night here. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. I'm glad that we finished animation. That's a really big project done. And I don't think sound will take too long because it's really going to use most of the same systems after we finish loading everything. And I mean, we've already finished about half of that, so. Some of my schedule this week might be a little weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream later in the week, but I'll let you know. Probably tonight, I mean tomorrow night I should be here, but we'll see. But anyway, guess I'll do my standard outro. If you missed any stream and you'd like to catch up, I do have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe there where I upload all my past streams. I also have a Discord channel. You can chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you guys there. And finally, if you want to be notified when I go live tomorrow at about 8:30 Eastern, you can feel free to follow me here on Twitch or also at my Twitter. I always tweet there when I go live. And I'll have links to everything in chat and also my channel or video description. So just check any of those places if you're interested. And yeah, that's about it for tonight. Thanks again, everybody, for coming out, and I hope you have a great day. All right, bye-bye.